Hi there, welcome back to my channel. This isn't the video that I'd intended to make, but for a number of reasons I thought it might be quite a nice idea to do a vlog. I've had the most amazing parcel turned up from a lovely lady that I've met through my YouTube channel, and she's honestly just shocked me to the core really with what she sent across. She's had a house move quite recently, and I say she, I don't want to give her name out because you know, I don't want to embarrass her in any way, but I just want her to know that I'm extremely grateful. But anyway, she said that she has a few bits and bobs to send across as she was going through a house move, so she wanted a bit of a clear out, and I honestly thought she was talking just, you know, a few bits of polymer clay, but yeah. As you'll see, this is just a crazy amount, and I'm just so grateful. I usually work with Fimo Professional, so this will be a really great experience actually to learn about a different clay. It's been a few years since I've used Sculpey. I think I used some Primo years and years ago now, and I don't know, I think for making models of people, Fimo Professional is the best, but I can really see potential in Sculpey for like smaller models and I don't know, jewellery making and just experimentation really. So I'm really excited to get started on this bunch. But yeah, I'll talk you through what I've received actually, because you know, I always like a bit of a haul video. So yeah, this is kind of yeah, a bit of a random haul video slash vlog, I think. Right, I think this camera angle works. So I think the first thing that I'll start with are these texture sheets, and they're mainly from Makin's Clay, which I've heard of before, but I've never bought any of their items before. I'm not sure if they do polymer clay, but I know that they do pasta machines and stuff as well. But there's all sorts of different textures on there, which I know that you won't see very well on camera today, but I'll no doubt do a video on these at some point. I've done one before, I think on Sculpey sheets, that's I'll link to above if you're interested. Gosh, there's so much stuff here, I don't know what to start on next. But these are some more texture stamps. There's various designs in there, I don't know whether you can see or not. And some more texture stamps here as well, and I'll, as I say, do a different video on these at some points. I just hope that you can see what they kind of look like on the camera there. And there's all sorts of little texture stamps here as well. There we go, and there's another there, and another there. I think that's just like grass. And there's a few kind of silicone texture sheets here as well, and I think that's bark, and there's like a kaleidoscope pattern on that one as well, so they're really interesting. And I've never ever seen these things before, but I think that they're tiny little screen or silk screen things. I don't know what to call them really, but I believe that you can just pop that on some polymer clay and then paint over the top, so there's some kind of really like fine segments for you to paint through really, so I hope that makes sense. And there's a few more there as well, so I really like this mandala effect, so I'll no doubt try these out at some point. And there's a couple of texture makers here from Sculpey. I'll just put that in focus. There we go. That's Alligator and Chantilly Lace, and they look kind of similar to the kind of stuff that I've worked with before. This looks really interesting actually. I've never ever seen anything like this. Just make sure it's in focus. But I imagine that you can just make kind of canes with this. The bamboo one there looks really interesting, and there's like I think it's a rope pattern, maybe not, maybe a leaf pattern actually. So I imagine that if you doubled them up, you'd be able to glue them together somehow, so I'll look further into that at some point. Loads of pencils here, which is always great because I'm trying to get back into sketching actually, so they will no doubt come in use. And some tiny little gemstones there, kind of little diamonds. There's some more texture pads here, kind of silicone, and I know that you won't see the detail in here. They're super, super fine. Unbelievably so actually, so I'm kind of intrigued to see how they'll work. And there's just some more texture sheets there as well, so yeah, lots of experimentation to be done with those. So I've got some various markers here, and I've heard of the Copic markers a few times now from illustrators on Twitter, etc., and I've never tried them actually, so that'll be really interesting. And I suspect this ender quite likes purple tones, as do I actually. And there's some pro markers there too, and again I've heard great stuff about these but I've never used them, so that'll be really interesting. And some touch pens there as well, so they'll all come in handy. And next up is some Deco Foil. I'll just bring that into focus. And gosh, there's all sorts of stuff out there that, you know, I just don't know anything about really. So this is for fabric and paper, and it's just a rainbow pattern, so that looks really interesting, so I'll have to experiment with that at some point. And lastly, it's just just all this clay really. It's just amazing that she was prepared to part with so much really, and as I say, I'm hugely grateful for this. There's different kinds of clay here. There's the Soufflé by Sculpey, it's all Sculpey actually, along with the Premo and the Premo accents as well, so yeah, there'll be lots of experimentation going on. There's all sorts of colours as well and different effects. There's some glitter and some pearl, so yeah, there'll be lots to find out with all this. So I imagine what I'll do is to just work on some Sculpey projects initially, just to really start experimenting with and to get to know the material, because it feels very different to Fimo, from memory anyway. It's been years since I tried it, but it's a lot softer a clay than Fimo, so yeah, it'll be nice to get to know it. But the sender informs me that it is possible to mix Sculpey with Fimo, and I'll need to look further into that, but I'll put a link below that she mentions that a scientist wrote, I believe, about how to bake the two when they're combined, so I'll no doubt experiment with that at some point, but as I say, I'm just going to stick with the Sculpey for now, just to get to know the material really. So yeah, great times ahead over the next few months, I'd say, if not years actually. So yes, thank you very much. I'm, as I say, really grateful, gobsmacked, and yeah, it's given me a great opportunity to, you know, learn about a new material and yeah, experiment, and we'll just see what happens as I go on. Isn't that incredible? I'm just thrilled, and it's a real reminder that, you know, there's amazing people out there and amazing things happening all the time, so it's really easy to forget that kind of stuff, isn't it, with everything else happening in the world at the moment. And also, while I think about it, and it does relate to that, I've just opened my Etsy store, or reopened my Etsy store, and it's a really difficult decision, isn't it? I've decided that because I go to the post office once a week anyway, because it's a local store too, I just thought, well, you know, I possibly could open my Etsy store and just see how it goes really. I don't often sell bits from my store because it's higher value than average, I think, so yeah, we'll just see how it goes. But I just thought, you know, I go once a week anyway for local produce because I've got a really weird diet, so it's an essential journey for me. I'd just try it But if there's any issues as we move forward, I'm just going to close it again. But I just wondered if there were any Etsy sellers out there, perhaps in the UK, that have similar worries really, and how you're kind of addressing that or coping with it. I fully intend to wear a mask when I go, so yeah, we'll just see really, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts too. And I think that's it for today, just a bit of a quick one really. I'll be back this Friday with yeah, I'm sure some Sculpey experiments, and yeah, I'll see you then. Take care and stay safe. Bye bye.